What's going on, guys? It's your boy AT Money, and we're back with another video. This is my playoff preview. Let's get rolling. Make sure to like and subscribe. Alrighty, we're going to start with the Western Conference, and we're specifically going to start with the Utah Jazz. They earned their home field advantage for the entire playoffs. They were the best team in the league this year, and there is no question about it. However, while they are a great team, they also are known to be very aggressive 3-and-D style, and they play very exciting basketball. Personally, they're going to do really well against the Grizzlies, as the Grizzlies are a one-man show. Yes, Jaren Jackson's a great scorer, and Dillon Brooks can really do it all, but who gets in the ball? Ja Morant. Who made his team go? Ja Morant. Who comes up clutch? Ja Morant. So, as long as you stop Ja Morant, that team is not going to do that much. So, I personally have the Jazz sweeping the Grizzlies, and it should not be close. Now, we're going to move on to the 2-seeded Phoenix Suns versus the 7-seeded Los Angeles Lakers. Now, let me get this out of the way. The Lakers are not your typical 7-seed. They would have been a lot higher, barring a serious injury crisis in the middle of the season that caused them to drop from 3rd to 7th. It was kind of ridiculous. And then they fought their way to the play-in, and now they're here. I'm actually going to post my reaction to the play-in tournament at some point today, so beware. But I think the Lakers and Suns should be able to have a really grueling series. However, I think the Suns take it in Game 7 due to a better team overall. The Lakers lack depth, and that can become a problem once LeBron, AD, and Kuz inevitably have to take rest. And outside of Alex Caruso, who do you trust on that Lakers bench? Nobody. So, yeah, tells you all you need to know. Now, we're going to move on to the 3-seed Nuggets versus the 6-seed Blazers. I personally have Denver really high up there, and I think they should do great things. Now, they're not going to go crazy, but I'm actually not going to tell you where I think I have them going. I'll save that for second-round predictions, should they make it there. But I think the Nuggets should make it out of the first round, because this Blazers team is both undermanned and overmatched. Terry Stotts is fighting for his job, and I think he's going to panic. Dame and CJ will keep it close, but the Nuggets should take this in 6, or I will be thoroughly disappointed. Now, we move on to my final series in the Western Conference, the Clippers versus the Mavericks. The Clippers. Where do I start with the Clippers? You have Kawhi Leonard and you have Paul George. Why are you 4th in the West? Interesting question to answer, I know. Now, we move on to the next problem. The Clippers. What happened to you last year? Oh, right. You were against the Nuggets last year in the conference semis, and what did you do? You had a 3-1 lead, and you choked it away. It is horrendous. These guys just do not know how to will themselves over the line in both games and series. And the fact they've lost to the Mavericks by 51 this season, which is embarrassing. On top of that, the Clippers have continued to decline a bit, while the Mavs have been steadily improving, albeit quietly. Now, because of these reasons, I have the Mavs sending the Clippers home early in 6 or 7. It will be close, but I think the Clippers' choking tendencies will prevail, and the Mavericks should move on to the second round and face the Jazz. Now, to the Eastern Conference, the Sixers. Now, I'm not going to get into my real feelings about the Sixers. I'm going to save that for another time. However, despite my opinions about them, they should be able to take the Wizards. Yeah, you have Joel Embiid, you have Ben Simmons, you have Tobias Harris. You should be able to beat them. Russ and Bradley Beal are nice, but the rest of the team is a big fat question mark that sometimes shows up, but most of the time disappears. So, as a result, I have the Sixers taking this series in 5. Alrighty, moving right along to the next series here. The Nets versus the Celtics. The Brooklyn Nets literally bought the league. They have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. And between the three of them, they have 3 NBA championships, 2 MVPs, 3 Finals MVPs. That's pretty impressive resume. On top of that, these guys have really improved their defense this year. And the Nets have been on the up and up. They've gone from strength to strength when they're healthy. And I think they can stay healthy long enough in order to get through this series. Even when shorthanded, they're still a threat. And that's why I think the Nets should be able to take the Celtics in 5, as Jason Tatum should be able to put up one monster game to keep the series somewhat competitive. Now, moving on to my next series here. The Bucks versus the Heat. I know, I sound like I'm a Milwaukee hater already, but they will go out in the first round. Don't worry. Oh, they will do it. If you think of any team that will bounce out of the playoffs way too early than they're supposed to, it's Milwaukee. They don't win the fourth quarter. They fail to have a backup plan consistently when Giannis Antetokounmpo inevitably gets shut down when the game slows down. And while having secondary ball handlers should help, that does not fix the fact they're not one of the best three-point defenses, and Miami is one of the best three-point shooting teams normally. So, due to that, and the fact Miami's healthy again, I really think the Heat can take them. Now, it will be a 7-game series. It will not be it won't be a blowout like last time. However, it will be a close series, and the Heat should be able to take it as the Bucks whittle away in every single one of the fourth quarters, like they always do. So, now on to my final matchup in the Eastern Conference. It is, yep, you guessed it. You guessed it. Totally, right? You totally thought these two teams would be in the playoffs at the end of the season? The New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks. I know, you're serious, right? Atlanta's coaching change has really helped them as Nate McMillan's righted the ship, and the Hawks are 5th in the East. I know, it's ridiculous. Now the Knicks are a whole nother transformation. After 20 years of futility and disappointment, they're the 4th seed. They are literally looking like a promising team. Now the Hawks, though, I do have some concerns. Defense, non-existent. Trae Young, he's the only good facilitator on the team. If that is what you call good ball handling, and your next best good ball handler is Lou Williams, and he's on the bench, that's problematic. And oh yeah, who's that other guy that kind of is a little questionable? Oh right, anything on the Atlanta Hawks bench not named Lou Williams, as the Hawks are known to have historically bad bench woes, and even though Bojan Bogdanovic can get the job done, outside of him and Williams, who do they have, really? They're thin, they're a one-man show, and they are very easy to shut down against the Knicks' 4th-ranked defense. Speaking of the Knicks, they have been a revelation. Julius Randle, all-star. RJ Barrett was snubbed. Oh, yeah, they finally have point guards. I know, that's something Knicks fans are not used to having, as they're used to watching Jarrett Jack try to dribble up the court and attempt to pass. I know, it's not a pretty sight. Now, moving right along, Emmanuel Quickley's been a revelation. Derrick Rose has been exceptional. Tom Thibodeau's righted the ship. And the Knicks are 4th. They are hosting a playoff series. And given their record at home, I honestly think that they can win it. Tough defense and clutch shots win games, and they win series too. And that's why I'm really backing the Knicks. That's all for me for this video. Next up's going to be my reaction to the play-in tournament. I'm going to talk about that very shortly. It'll be released very soon. Hope you enjoyed it today, and peace.